on December 23rd, starting at 7 o'clock. Yeah, late show.
7 to 10, 3 jam-packed hours.
It's going to be tight, so you're going to want to get there early.
Yeah, there might be a couple hockey teams there, too.
Maybe a few hockey teams there. So, how you doing there, Brian? It's been a while.
It has been a while.
I feel like, we go like months of seeing each other every other day. And your life gets in the way. So
now we're back in the studio. Last time we were using technology and in remote locations, but we're back with Grant. So we should.
I'm sure Grant's really excited about that. Hello. Grant's super excited about us being live here in the studio. It's a lot harder to bust his chops when we're all trying to figure out how to get in and out of the virtual green room of Streamcast. But now that I've got him dead in my sights,
you got me locked,
man, locked. What are you doing December 23rd?
Yeah. Probably something with family. I don't know.
Maybe you're coming to Fallon's to see the show.
Bring your Fallon family to Family Fallon's and come see us play.
Where is this at?
It's at
Olive and Price.
Olive and Price. So, for you Seckman grads, you directionally challenged Seckman grads.
I've never heard of those two words in my life.
So you head over at 485 over to. Over to 270.
Oh, I don't go to 270.
Oh, we don't do 270. We'll bring you up Elm. Go 485 to Elm. Elm over to Kirkland. And Kirkland to Brentwood. Brentwood up to Eager. Eager 170 to Olive. And then shoot on over west about a block and a half.
I just need what city adjacent we're in.
That's an Olivet.
Olivet.
Yeah.
Which is next to where?
Next to Ladue.
Okay, there we go.
There you go.
Yeah, right? I need a landmark.
I think I've identified a game we can play with Grant.
Yeah.
Can't get there. Directions.
We got a good show today. We're going to be talking with Mid-States winners because that's what we do after the game happens. We're also going to be talking about how to coach a hockey team when you have a very wide array of skill level, which I think is going to be really interesting. And then we've got a preview for this week's game.
Yeah. I mean, it's for as non-packed as we think it is. It's a pretty packed show.
It is a pretty packed show,
but they're all packed, like Christmas packages. I'm trying here. I'm trying. It's been a long week. I'm a little early, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday travel is taking its toll.
Your brain's a little fried.
A little bit. But, I think best place to start, though, here is we had a phenomenal Mid-States game of the week last Friday that pitted two municipal traditional powerhouses against each other. There was a lot going on in this game, and as we're going to find out as we talk to the players from the winning team here, from it was their senior night to some remembrances for a former teammate. But at the end of the day, they went out and took care of business. CBC, the Keydats, took care of business against the St. Louis University high hockey team in a 6-2 victory last Friday night. And today we've got Max Reckert, Joe Thornhill, and I believe Blaze Rado. And we're going to welcome him in here if we've got our producer Grant, who hasn't seen us face to face in a while, can help us out here. So Max Reckert, Joey Thornhill, and Blaze Rado, welcome to the Too Many Men on the Mic show. How you guys doing today?
Doing good. How you guys doing?
Great, man. Great. Well, boys, I had a chance to talk to Max and Joe last week. Thought it was going to be. Thought you guys had an inside track to getting a win, but 6-2. What is going on? I mean, guys, and 6-2. Joey got on the sheet a couple. Man, the sheet in the Pims. But let's talk a little bit about that game. Obviously, you had the backdrop of senior night and the tribute and memory of Brownie. But guys, let's start with you, Max. Tell me a little bit about how that game went, how you felt, what it was like being out there at Afton 8:30 last Friday night.
Yeah, I mean, it was awesome. The atmosphere in that rink was like nothing I've ever seen before. Getting out there, starting warm-ups from the start when we got on the ice, I mean, it was just electric. So it was really fun to be playing in that atmosphere at Afton.
And Joey, you contributed on the sheet. I think you had a goal and an assist, and you had made the comments that you got to play CBC hockey, and the young guys got to contribute. Tell me a little bit about what your thoughts and viewpoints were on that game.
Yeah, it was a great game right from the jump. First shift, Mitch laid a huge hit. We had the energy. We were playing our asses off. We were playing great hockey, and we were playing electric. There was a lot of energy. It was a good game for sure. We felt like that. We'll do very good this season.
Well, and it sounds like, based on the score, to your point, a lot of energy. And did that carry consistently through the game from your guys' view?
Absolutely, for sure. Definitely in that SLU game, we had the energy the whole time. And I felt like we had the momentum the whole game. We just carried through. Yeah, I mean, everybody on the bench was just up and at them, screaming, getting loud. So, I mean, that was also great.
I think another huge factor during that game was just the emotions. Obviously, like you said with Brownie, there was more on the line that night, and we came out with the W.
I mean, you guys even out your record. You've got, we're hitting the stretch run here. You don't have to see SLU again, I don't think. You split unless you guys meet up with them in the playoffs. Talk about what this does for you for 6 weeks as you make the stretch run and you're angling for that Challenge Cup playoffs and finals.
Yeah, it's just another stepping stone, building, getting better, learning to play as a team, creating a culture, playing hard, and just taking those next steps is building ourselves in the team we want to be going to the playoffs.
Well, I can tell you guys, I think, Coach Trent is going to have you guys fired up for the rest of the way out here. We asked that question about Thanksgiving meals when we were face-to-face here. Hey, we're coming up on Christmas. Before I let you guys go, give me your top either Christmas song or Christmas movie, and then give me your top hockey-related gift that you got over Christmas.
Ooh.
Coach Ballas throwing a curveball in on us.
Christmas songs, probably. I think it's just got to be All I Want for Christmas Is You. And then favorite gift? I'm not asking anything related to hockey this year, but probably my first hockey stick was a Christmas gift.
Nice. You remember the type?
I think it was a Bauer Nexus 2N Pro.
The answer is the kind that scores goals, Coach. Well, what about you other guys? At least if you give us a good song, we may come back to it at the break.
Yeah, I mean, I said it last week. I'll say it again. Last Christmas by Ram is best Christmas song of all time.
I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Well, boys, we can't thank you enough for taking some time out of your day here today. I know you've got some games coming up this weekend. Good luck. Good luck the rest of the way. Stay healthy, hit the books, and go CBC.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. No Christmas story?
I mean, I think
Shoot your eye out.
I think the Christmas Story would do better if they got off of TBS or TNT for the 24 Hours of Christmas Story for a couple years. They're overexposed.
Yes. But you do have to watch it.
You know what?
A little overrated. Maybe because it's played so much.
What?
My
Something
take.
I
I'm
can throw
agreeing
at
with you.
Greg.
I mean, you probably the guy that doesn't like
Sucking up.
Christmas, like the song White Christmas.
I love that song.
You love that song.
By who? In the movie?
You've never seen White Christmas?
No. I believe it's Bing Crosby, isn't it?
You would be correct.
Yeah.
It's not just believe. You should believe.
Of course I
You
believe.
don't receive if you don't believe. Isn't that what they always say?
I believe so.
Well, I mean, I'm excited. I just got to say, I'm grateful that we've been able to go out and talk to all these players. I mean, I don't know about you, but every time I do the pre-game, I'm having to keep myself from laughing because they're
fun.
and
They're a lot of fun.
they love hockey, and I think it's a great segue into our upcoming topic and guest.
It is a great segue. We have Dan Geeney, who is the Lindbergh High School hockey head coach. And Dan not only coaches boys from freshman all the way up to senior that are on the Lindbergh hockey team, but he also shares the coach's perspective on what I think is a challenge through our experience coaching high school hockey, and that is you find yourself as a coach, I believe, for the first time in your youth hockey journey, dealing with kids with a very wide variety of skills, not only skill levels, but years as well. You've got players that are freshmen all the way to seniors, and so that creates a challenging dynamic. I think we both found ourselves during practice planning figuring out how to take that into consideration. Should we have them together sometimes? Should we have them separate other times? While also teaching concepts and helping individual players develop. So I'm real happy to have Dan on and tell us a little bit about coaching a wide variety of skills at the youth hockey level.
Yeah, well said. And I think hockey presents such a unique opportunity as opposed to football, basketball, soccer, some of the other high school sports, in that in those sports you have a varying degree of skill sets. But with hockey, until they get to high school, these kids are playing in birth years, and they're playing with kids who are put on the teams based on that exact key, that skill set. And that's what helps drive our coaching. But I think Dan's probably got some great experience and some great insights. So let's bring him on board. Hey Dan, welcome to 2 Mini Men on the Mic. You got Coach Jared and Coach Drew. Thanks for joining us today.
Hey, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Dan, we were talking over the phone a little earlier about the challenge it creates as a coach when you have players of wide variety of skill, and maybe you have some kids that are simply just high school players. Maybe you have some kids that are high school players and also play for club. So I'm interested to hear your perspective and share it with our listener. Let's hop right into it. Tell me from your perspective, how many sheets of ice a team has each week factor into how you coach your Lindbergh team of players, where some kids play only for their high school team and others play, that combo I mentioned before, maybe some high school and some club?
Well, currently right now on the Lindbergh varsity squad, we have 1/3 of the players that only play high school hockey. And the varsity has 1 sheet of ice a week. The club has 2 sheets of ice a week. So some of the swing players are practicing 2 nights a week. But for the majority of the varsity team, for the frozen players, as far as the high school goes, they practice 1 day a week. And so it is a tremendous challenge, really, to get everybody on the same page. But really what it comes down to is, from the start, is just trying to create the culture where everybody is all one. Because we all the players are coming from a couple AAA programs, Central States programs, maybe the Rockets organization, Aston organization. They're coming from all over the place. So within that, they all have their own ideas. AAA Blues may coach one way, African Americans may coach one way. And so what you're doing is you're coming in with, these kids have been taught things possibly 8 to 10 different ways, or 8 to 10 different systems, okay? So it's really a challenge to get everybody on the same page, and, creating that culture all as one is to unify the team. So from the start, what we've done is we all come to practice in our Lindbergh practice jerseys. We wear Lindbergh helmets, Lindbergh gloves, everything Lindbergh, because we want to be as one. We don't want to be, those are the Aston kids over there, those are the Rockets kids over there, those are the Blues kids over there. We want to be one unified unit. Now that being said, practice size goes, we really want to try to maximize our touches instead of the concepts. Early on in the year, we have really maximized our passing progressions, skating, and we monetize that we touch the puck and shoot the puck and skate with the puck.
It's interesting that you say everybody wearing the practice jerseys. We try to get our kids to even try and get a Ladue colored helmet for during the games, and I understand the gloves are kind of tough just because you get used to it. One of the things that Drew and I have made a commitment to is no matter your skill level, everybody should have the same amount of effort and compete. And we have made it a point, especially with our higher skill levels, whether it's throughout the summer during our summer development, where we have all the JV and varsity players together, or even when we've got our Central States and AAA players, and I'll even say even our A level players in the bonds in practice. It's like you guys have to give the effort because you're helping yourself by helping to push your teammates who haven't gotten quite that far on their journey as you have. Do you find that when you made a great point with touches, and I even go further than that, it's time on ice, which it sounds like you're a little hamstrung with time on ice just because of your schedule of ice for practice. But are you finding that you're gearing your drills and games, from a skill set, but to also like a compete level, or how can you, because you don't have to be the world's greatest stick handler or even the world's best skater to be a good forechecker if you give the effort. Talk a little bit about your philosophy on that and how you handle that.
Well, what we really do is, those higher end players push the mid-level players to compete harder and harder each and every practice. So a lot of times we will set up, say, a 3v3 down low drill, and we'll mix in some mid-level players to compete with some of the higher level players. And so that just tries to raise the bar for everybody. And then those mid players, we'll team them up against some of the lower level kids, to try to bring that compete level up. So it is really a ladder of progression from the top down, where we expect our veteran players, more skilled players, to bring up the rest of the team. And all these guys, they say, well, what do we have to do to be leaders? What do we have to do to be leaders? Like, lead by example. Right, pull for these guys and push these guys and help these guys. If you make a pass that they can't handle, say, hey, don't worry about it. Jump back in line and let's go do it again. And just really for those guys to bring up the rest of the team is what we're really looking for.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head there. To frame that in a positive manner, I think what a lot of high school coaches experience sometimes in those situations is you may have a player that's frustrated a little bit. Right? You've got a higher skill person, and they're out there running a drill, and maybe a kid that is not of that same skill might have this pass, and then that player that's making the pass is a little frustrated, and getting them to buy into the concept of, look, we've got a wide variety of skill here. You're obviously one of the more skilled players, and so we need you to help your teammates out and share some of that success that you've had. Hey, a way that I've had success when I was in your shoes is doing these kinds of things. Do you find yourself having those kind of conversations with your players?
Absolutely. And if you're running a drill and you have one of your high-end guys that can handle the puck, skate well, and do everything, and encourage your teammate before they get ready to go out there. Like, hey, let's go, we've got this. Keep your eyes open. Move to space. And so we almost want those veteran players to be coaches themselves as well. They're almost, at times, you can, you want to get to the point where you can run these drills and run some of these concepts, and some of your team leaders, you don't necessarily have to have an A or a C to be a team leader. Lead by example and pull the rest of your team up. Because we have a 30-man roster, okay? Every person on this 30-man roster is needed for us to compete through this mid-state season. The players went out of town via injuries, sickness, all the above. And so far this year, every person on that 30-man roster has touched the ice in a varsity game.
That's insane.
And that's a really good point. 30-man roster, you're not going to have everybody available every single game. And so that's a really important point to get everybody to buy in, because somebody's going to be, each player is going to be impactful at somewhere during the season, right?
Absolutely. We're a couple games ago, we had 6 freshmen in the starting lineup at varsity, including the goaltender.
Right.
So you are going to, for the public schools, anyway, we're all in the same situation for the most part. And you have to be diverse, and you have to have players be able to adapt and play different positions and help the entire team. You can't just be like, well, I'm only going to play forward. No, we need to go on defense tonight.
I mean, that's a whole other topic that we might just have to stretch our arms and legs into as we go into the second half of the show today.
Well, before we get into that, we got to take a quick break. Dan, can you stick around for, about 15, 20 minutes longer with us?
Absolutely.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, this segment of Too Many Men on the Mic is brought to you by Big Bear Tournaments. Don't go into your hockey weekends blindly. Big Bear Tournaments eliminates all uncertainties and proudly displays every registered team for each event. And they are more than happy to talk through matchups to ensure you are in the race. No more guessing about the competition. Just sign up and they will take it from there. Now through next week, Class 10U or 12U spot in Springfield on January 9th and save 40% on the entry fee. Looking to stay in St. Louis on MLK weekend? They have space available at all age groups, including 18U. Sign up now, and don't forget to mention that Too Many Men on the Mic sent you.
This hour of content on the Lou Information Station is brought to you by Grandpa Pigeons, Johnny Mack's Sporting Goods, and Becky's Carpet and Tile Superstore.
Hey, see that, kids? That's the St. Louis Arch, the gateway to the west.
The Lou Information Station, where we'll always call it Highway 40 or Highway 40 if you're a boomer. The St. Louis expression? Stream our content 24/7 at louinfo.com. The Lou Information Station.
Fast Track Auto Transport has been a trusted leader in vehicle shipping for over 25 years, providing reliable, affordable service across the U.S. Fast Track offers fast and safe transportation solutions for individuals, dealerships, fleets, and businesses of all sizes. The Fast Track team prides itself on honest communication, competitive pricing, and real-time tracking, which gives our customers peace of mind from pickup to delivery. Whether you're shipping a single car or managing a large fleet, Fast Track delivers a smooth, hassle-free experience every time. Come see why Fast Track Auto Transport has been St. Louis's go-to company for all your vehicle transport needs for over 25 years. The trusted way, the safe way, the Fast Track way. Visit ftautotrans.com or call 636-677-9004. That's ftautotrans.com or call 636-677-9004.
NewInfo.com news headlines brought to you by Brown and Crouppen. GetBC.com.
Your NewInfo.com news report. A former Alton police officer pleading guilty to stealing nearly $58,000 from a police union while employed. 42-year-old Jeremiah Dressler of Brighton, Illinois, pleading guilty to 5 felony counts. As winter approaches, the city of St. Louis is working on ways to keep those affected by the tornadoes back in May safe through extreme weather and temperatures. The City of St. Louis Recovery Office working with Action St. Louis and St. Louis Integrated Health to check on unhoused and damaged houses. Workers will help connect the affected people with warming centers and other services. Police asking for the public's help identifying a man tied to months of illegal dumping in North St. Louis. St. Louis police releasing several photos of a man accused of several instances of illegal dumping on the 4400 block of Tower Avenue, and 2 people arrested after a car chase involving a stolen vehicle from a delivery driver Wednesday night, coming about 9:30 p.m. on Riverview near Edna. For the New Information Station, streaming 24/7 at newinfo.com and the free New Info app. I'm Peter Kalun.
Now, NewInfo.com weather, presented by STL Sports Central. St. Louis sports, anytime, anywhere.
Here is your LoWinfo.com weather update. We will see mainly cloudy skies, a chance of a little snow today. A high this afternoon will be warming up into the middle 30s. We'll drop down to near 30 with cloudy skies tonight. Mostly cloudy mid to upper 30s on Friday. And then a chance of seeing some snow Saturday, mid to upper 20s. Sunday will be sunny and cold, a high near 15. I'm meteorologist Sally Russell for the Lou Information Station, streaming 24/7 at LouInfo.com and the free Lou Info app.
Your Austin experience with Saturday mornings from 9 to 11. Brought to you by Fast Track Auto Transport. St. Louis's go-to company for all your vehicle transport needs. Visit ftautotrans.com or call 636-677-9004.
After a long day, nothing beats kicking back in a brand new hot tub from St. Louis Hot Tub Warehouse. These guys are the real deal. They've been around for over 38 years and got more than 400 five-star reviews. And they've earned every single one of them. They sell premium, American-made hot tubs. USA, baby. And because they keep their overhead low, they pass the savings right on to you. You're getting better quality at a better price. And here's the best part. No hidden fees. No surprises. No, by the way, charges. And if you find a comparable hot tub cheaper at a local dealer, they'll beat that price. Guaranteed. That's right. Best price guarantee. No one's beating them. Plus, when you buy from St. Louis Hot Tub Warehouse, you're buying from a company that's been here for decades. And they'll be here to service your tub for as long as you own it. Check them out at besthotTubPrices.com. That's besthotTubPrices.com. St. Louis Hot Tub Warehouse. Highest quality, best price.
Tune in each week as STL Sports Central, the New Information Station, and the Too Many Men on the Mic podcast present the Mid-States Club Hockey Association Game of the Week. Brought to you by Mattingly Lumber, Vintage Credit Union, Chicken and Pickle, and by the Watson Private Wealth Group at Stiefel.
This is Mizzou wide receiver Kevin Coleman Jr. And I'm Mizzou linebacker Josiah Trotter. When we hit the field, we have each other's back. And off the field, we got James Carlton, State Farm covering us.
Thanks, fellas. Nothing beats college football season, and nothing beats saving money. Just by getting a quote from our office and mentioning Mizzou, we'll make a donation to support Mizzou's Will to Win push on your behalf. No strings attached.
So you're supporting the team just by checking your rates. It doesn't get any easier than that. It's so easy. Check them out online at CarcityInsurance.net. MIZZOU.
Founded by Shannon Brahini, a proud St. Louis mom and entrepreneur, 5B Designs is a woman-owned small business that brings purpose to custom apparel. Whether you're suiting up your youth or high school hockey team or leveling up your company's branded swag, 5B delivers top-notch quality with a personal touch. Need team stores? No problem. Corporate polos or event giveaways? They've got you covered. 5B makes it easy with fast turnaround, flexible service, and designs your players or employees will love to wear. Check them out at stores.inksoft.com/5B Designs, that's the word 5, and see what purpose-driven apparel looks like. We're back here with Lindbergh head coach Dan Geeney, and we're talking all things on the challenges from a coaching and a player standpoint of having a high school hockey team that's got a diverse range of skills and skill sets. And Dan, we left off talking about how we're leveraging those level and above players to kind of help be a positive influence in practice. You know, I'm going to look at it from a slightly different perspective as the season progresses. I think as the season progresses, it's like a sliding scale where you really have to, go to those, whether it's the younger players or some of your players who maybe are, not quite at that A1 or above level, and say, you guys have to start owning your development. You have this great opportunity where you can compete against a level of player in practice that maybe in your club career you haven't been able to. What are you doing to make yourself I'm going to call an A-level player in high school hockey. And I think that that's been some of the messaging that we've been trying to instill in those kids, because there's a lot of ways to contribute on any team, and a hockey team especially, beyond just being able to, dangle your way up and down the ice. What do you think about that perspective?
So it's kind of funny topic because we're actually dealing with some of that right now. And with a few of these swing players that are A-, B players, I guess you could say, we're like, listen, guys, some of these players, you do get frustrated when they're on the dress list every night. And it's like, all right, guys, well, look, you're on swing. You got to work your butt off at JV. Take advantage of that extra touch that you do get at JV practice. And take it serious. Because in order to be productive on the varsity level, it all starts at JV for these players. And you have to be able to prove to the coaches and your teammates that you are ready to go to battle when you're called upon to play these varsity games. And as the year goes on, more times than not, these players will be called upon to help out the club. And, they have to be ready. We've had a few players that have stepped in and been ready, and we've had a few players that haven't been ready. And so at some point in time, they have to assess themselves and be like, what can I do to be better? What can I do to improve myself? Well, it all, with it being possibly the lack of touches and not playing club hockey, hey, what are you doing at home? Are you stick handling with a tennis ball, a golf ball? You're taking maybe an extra 50 shots a night before you go to bed. What can you do to improve yourself, not only at the rink, but off the rink as well?
I might have heard a coach say that.
I mean, I think Lindbergh's got a bug in the Ladue locker room. That's exactly what we're talking about. It's funny, Dan, because if you've listened to the show, and coaches are thieves, but that exact mentality, I think that's got to be more than, it goes beyond hockey. It's about life. None of us are as good as we could possibly be or want to be at a lot of different things. And, what drives me nuts is, Coach, how do I do this? What do I do? I need some feedback. And you give them feedback, and you've got, similar to what you said, you have 50% of the kids take it to heart, and you can see it. And the other 50%, I think that they're asking. And the message I have to give to all players out there, no matter what level you're at, you got to earn it. And especially, like you said, those A-, B-level players, you are helping your teammates out because, what does every high school coach typically do in the third period if they're down a goal or tie? I mean, you're shortening the bench, and that just can kill, your top 6 or top 5. And so these kids are helping their teammates. These players are helping their teammates and themselves. I mean, the more playing time you get up and down the lineup, and you can roll 3 or 4 lines, that helps everybody.
Hey, look, we just went through that the other night against Oakville. We were missing 10 starters, okay? And we went up early in the game, couldn't hold on, probably overplayed 5 or 6 players down the stretch, and we couldn't hold on. And, it was one of those situations where you really needed some of those other players to kick in and share the workload. And, and we tried, and at times it didn't work out. But that's exactly right. A lot of these players are like, I'm not on the PK, I'm not on the power play. How am I worthy to play on varsity? We all have to identify, and we try to talk to them about it. Like, you have a role on the team. We have a job. We have one in particular, who's a pretty good soccer player, not the best hockey player in the world, but he's a good athlete. And, hey, get that puck in, center ice, dump it in, and use your speed and just get on the forecheck. And in that Oakville game, he went in on a 1-on-2 and tried to dangle, and guess what? The puck's coming back the other way immediately on his own. So it's not really always the physical skills, it's the mental decision-making ability and decision-making.
100%.
So if, And that is a big part of whatever sport you're playing. All sports are similar in many ways. But if you can grasp small concepts within the team and comprehend that and take that 30-second shift, get the puck in deep, get off the ice, let your horses rest, you are a very important piece of the puzzle. And I don't think a lot of these kids understand that.
You know, Dan, what I find too is like we've been getting tremendous effort, and I'm sure everybody's, because people love to play hockey. You're out there, you know, like you said, you may not be the best hockey player in the world, but you're competitive, you're an athlete. It's sometimes channeling that effort and taking that effort to execution. And one of the things that Drew and I have tried out this year, been filming our games and then, you know, having the kids watch the good clips and also watch some of the clips where the decision was, and it's not even about like, you know, you got beat outside or you didn't take an inside position or it's more about the decision you make. Could there have been a better route to the puck on that forecheck? Could there have been a better, decision at the blue line, like you said, instead of trying to dangle, just making the simple play? And I think it's helping. Especially in this day and age where kids are so technologically savvy. But we've got this platform, and Drew and I can share it with you offline, that we're testing out called Drift, that's allowing us to not only build out practice plans, but we're able to communicate, entire film clips with notes to either the whole team or to specific players. I gotta believe that if a player really wants to get better, and they're not going to turn into Connor McDavid or even a Central States or AAA player by the end of the season, but if they can just become that next step, that next level, being somebody who can take, an extra 90 to 120 seconds of ice time in the third period to give your boys a rest. That's a win. That's a huge win.
Absolutely. And, speaking of video, I'm really into video. I go over our games multiple times, go over even some practices just because you can't watch everybody. We have, 30 players on the ice to practice sometimes. So you can't watch everybody. It's impossible. You're going to miss stuff. If you're going to key in on one player and see how he's handling the puck off the wall, or what decisions he's even making in practice, scenario he goes and things like that, it goes a long way. And we had a situation in that Oakville game that I just mentioned where we had an offensive zone face-off, and we were up by a goal or two, and the puck was dropped in the one winger. He just wasn't ready. He wasn't ready for the puck to drop. And then inside guy grabbed the puck. Next thing he's one of the faster players in the states. He grabbed the puck and takes off with it, puts our D on his heels immediately, and ends up taking a penalty on the play because he got up behind the play instead of going in, putting a little pick on the guy coming through that inside lane. And he just checked out of it completely, 100% checked out of it completely. So last practice we went over the film and we just, showed him in the coach's office. And it's like, okay, what do you see here? Well, we only saw probably 2 of the 4 things that happened. And so you go through that video and you explain, like, okay, well, this is a scenario, this was just going on. And therefore, if you want to get those minutes, that you're asking for, these are the small things inside the game that you need to improve on. Okay, so you can be a reliable asset in crunch time. And we utilize video a lot.
I love it, and I love the what do you see? Right, start the question with what, or start the interaction with what do you see? Get the player to articulate to you what's going on, through their brain. So I love how you start that up. Dan, we got time for one more question, and you talked about having 30 kids on the ice, so I feel like I gotta ask this question around practice. What do you do to communicate your concepts effectively, knowing that not only do you have 30 kids, but you've got a variety of skill levels out on the ice? How do you attack that?
Well, from the start, I won't call it like a football playbook, but we handed out a booklet, a binder, which went over basically the 3 zones: offensive zone, neutral zone, defensive zone, zone entry.
Listen up, Grant. Listen up. Listen up, Grant.
And so, and then once in a while we quiz them on it. What are we doing? We're going, we taking, what are we doing on a 2-on-1 here, right? So this stuff is all within the binder, okay? So we're trying to get it ahead of the game because it is nearly impossible to say, okay, well, you 15 sit on the bench while we work on this. You just can't do that, right? So with the utilization of video, call the playbook, call it whatever you want, short pregame talks on the whiteboard. Though I noticed that a lot of kids, they do zone out with the whiteboard. And periodically through the season, we send out video clips that we pull from a variety of different places, whether it's D-zone face-offs, whether it's offensive zone face-offs, neutral zone face-offs, plays off the rush, penalty kill, power play. So we try to send out as much video as we can without overwhelming the kids.
I'm still in the binder, by the way. I love it because I have reduced my reliance on the whiteboard. I don't think I bring it. It doesn't come out. It stays in the bench.
I was going to say you hung it up in the garage.
I just like carrying it in. It makes me look like a coach.
It does make you look official.
Well, this is what, like, each player throughout the club has received a binder. Okay, so there's like 60 binders out there. Now let's take it to the spring B League. Okay, so we want to start introducing these little small concepts and baby steps from the spring B League, where you have 8th graders and 7th, 8th, and 9th graders, let's say, playing. Okay, now they're going to take that defensive zone face-off strategy or structure, concepts, whatever you want to call it, and now they're going to maybe bring that to JV. Okay, right. So what we're doing at JV is what we're going to be doing at varsity. So when that swing player jumps in, he's going to know, defensive zone face-off right dot, this is what we're doing.
Everybody's singing from the same hymnal.
We're trying.
That's it. And we're stealing this because when we play Lindbergh in B season, JV season.
We're trying. I love it. A lot of fun, a lot of stress, a lot of fun. We have a big game tonight and talk about diversification. Our starting first line is all seniors, and our second line is all freshmen tonight.
Well, we're going to be talking about your big game tomorrow night as well, because you guys got a big one tomorrow night. Man, we could have had another 2 hours of this, Dan, and hopefully we'll be able to get you back on maybe our OT segment where we're getting really nerdy about coaching, because,
I love it. You're building culture.
Love it. Absolutely love it. And congratulations on you guys are sitting in first place right now, I think, in the Suburban East.
I believe so. And then snuck up on us. I haven't looked in a while.
Well, congratulations on a great start to the season. Good luck on the stretch run. But more importantly, man, just as a hockey coach, as a hockey player, as a hockey evangelist, thank you for all you're doing, man. And these kids that play for you and have played for you, they're going to win in all aspects of their life as they go on. And thanks for joining us today.
Well, there's one thing that I could add with our whole coaching staff. They're all doing a fantastic job. And if we can just, it's more about, hey, who scores the goals and this and that. But when these players graduate Lindbergh High School, hopefully we played a part in their lives moving forward that might be able to help them at university or their next step in life. And that's really what we're really in it for.
Love it, Dan. Thanks so much for your time today and joining us on the show.
All right. Thank you very much.
I mean, we talked about all of these things, right? These are things that we're introducing at B team to get to JV, to get to high school. I feel like he was sitting in the locker room. I love it.
I mean, you do have a loud voice.
Talk quieter.
I love the thing I'm taking from it is, we've tried to do this in a digital fashion where we're sending, whether it's through Crossbar or now Drift, kind of that playbook, but maybe even having a binder that's a physical thing they have to hand, and they had to turn it at the end of the season.
So I was the entire time he was talking about that, I was thinking in the back of my head, has there been a kid, and what happens if a kid loses his binder?
Well, think about it. Like, well, look what we do with the water bottles and the pucks. Right? Responsibilities for that. Most, especially the freshmen, because it's typical the freshmen who have to carry that stuff around.
Right.
They're in cold sweats if they can't find a water bottle. Imagine if we come to the end of the season.
Binder.
Well, you know, I don't want to make this like the military, where we could have like, hey, we have a binder check. Who's got their binders on them?
Totally.
Oh, for
Binder check.
For every binder not here at One Mountain. Oof, I love it. But again, you know, I think the key theme here is getting your higher level players to support it, treat it, you know, with the respect and the effort that it deserves throughout every time they're on the ice, and most of them do it. That's why they're high level players. And then as that season goes, you transition. It's like, hey, the contribution has to be a two-way street from all your players.
I think it's about expectation setting too. It makes me think of the swing player, or you know, the kid that gets stressed for the varsity game but doesn't get to play. Okay, this isn't a lifelong moment in time on your journey where this is what you're encountering, and so that will change as you develop. You're probably not going to be a swing player if you continue on that path, and then there'll be swing players several years younger than you that'll be on that journey too. So I think it's about expectation setting too.
Well, and I think you look at coaches love guys that are willing to whatever you ask, whatever it takes. And
Swiss Army knife. Take it every time.
You know, and I think that it's important from a culture standpoint. You know, I was talking to a player the other day, and we were just looking at some stats, and you know, he's like, "Well, I've got these numbers, and it's mostly 5-on-5. I'm not even playing the power play." And I said, "What do you think about that?" I said, "I don't care. We're winning."
Love it.
And you know, and then the last thing I'll leave with this, because look, we're both parents as well. I'm sure Dan's a parent as well. And as you're in the stands and you're watching your player not maybe get a shift or not playing as often, think about it from the big picture. Think about it from what it means to be on a team, especially in high school. And it's like, if you go to a football game or a basketball game, there's kids that don't play, or they only get out there on the kickoff, or they're only getting out there as on the last, you know, 2 minutes of a blowout. Be on the team. To be that person, you don't see everything that goes on in practice. You know, you can't run some of these drills, even with all your high level players, quote unquote, there, unless you've got people to you know, execute and have these games where they're most impactful. So the game itself that's the part that the public gets to see, but the stuff that goes on behind the scenes, the stuff that happens in practice, and coaches show that appreciation.
Well, Dan said it. Players have a role, and so it's understanding your role. We also have a role. The role we have to play is talk a little bit about this Mid-States Game of the Week.
Well, you know, we alluded to it with Dan. We've got a big one here. You know, Rockwood Summit, they're sitting in second place in the Suburban West. They've got a new coach and really a younger roster. And, you know, they're a hard-hitting team, hard-playing team. And they're going against Lindbergh, who is, as we mentioned, they're sitting atop the East Division of the Suburban, east side of the Suburban Division.
It's going to be a good tilt.
It's going to be a really good tilt. I can tell you right now that Rockwood this is a statement game for Rockwood. You know, I had a chance to talk to their coach, who I was so impressed with, Coach Leahy. He made a comment that he's like, "This is my first year coaching at Rockwood." He goes, "It's my dream job." He's worked over in Chesterfield. He's been an assistant at Maryville, and he started like scoping out like, where can I be a head coach? And he watched Summit play last year as they made it to the WIC Cup finals, and he's like, I could coach that team. And you know, talking to his players, Wyatt Schneider, who's his captain, and Blake Warren. And if you get a chance out there, folks, listen to the pregame for Summit tomorrow night. Blake Warren has a career in media. That kid was high. But as a whole, I think Rockwood's going to come out. This is probably their biggest game of the season to date, and they might be ready. And so, talking to Dan, I mean,
Yeah, I think I think Dan's ready. I had an opportunity to talk with him just in preparation, and I don't think he gave away the farm by any means on the interview we had with him today. But what I like is just how he gets his players to understand concepts, right? You got the binder, you've got a role on the team. If you're a leader, we need you to help pick these guys up. That's got to translate into success for any hockey program out there. So you take Coach Leahy's approach and Dan's approach, and a second-ranked team and a first-ranked team. That sounds like a recipe for a great game.
Well, be sure to, if you're not able to make it down to Afton at 3 tomorrow night, be sure to tune in. Go to luinfo.com, get on our YouTube page to see the live broadcast. Pregame starts at 8:10, puck drops at 8:30. If you can't get to a computer or your phone, or you're driving around town, switch on over to AM 590 KLIS for the Mid-States Game of the Week. Well, that wraps up this week's edition of Too Many Men on the Mic, Coach.
We only got one more before the holidays, so next week's going to be a big one.
Yeah, Grant, what are you bringing for the holiday extravaganza?
What's your contribution?
We'll bring anything if Drew brings some more bread.
Well, this will be the test. If Lisa truly loves our show, like she says, it's her third favorite podcast, Drew will not have to ask her to bring us some bread for next week.
I can't wait to see how this plays out.
Grant wants some bread, and maybe bring some butter for it, too.
There you go.
Well, everybody, thanks again for joining us here. Thanks again to our sponsors, Big Bear Tournaments and 5B Designs. I think we've got a great weekend of hockey coming up this weekend, whether you're Mid-States Club, AAA Central States, or Missouri Hockey. He shoots, he scores. Play the song, Grant. Thanks everybody for showing up.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
At Brown & Crouppen, we get that after an accident, money